I'm still curious what Billy got for his wife at Home Depot for their, what was it, 5-year anniversary?
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother thing. That's a conversation for another day.
I want to have that conversation today.
Because it does imply, though, you said that it's because this year's wood-themed. Like, are you building something? Are you constructing something with wood?
2x4s?
Well, first, we'll address the first thing that was for another day. We'll just make today the day.
Okay.
When you get married, your like years reset like that. I feel like I should get time spent. You know what I mean? Like in the relationship.
How long did you guys date before you got married?
Like a long time, like 8-9 years, something.
So this
like
would
that.
be like your 14th or 15th anniversary, which is crystal, apparently.
Okay, well then let's go back to wood.
Or
then. We're fine with wood. Let's reset at 5.
Do you guys acknowledge your pre-marriage anniversary?
No.
I don't either.
No.
We stopped. We just focus on one now.
Yeah, then people say, like, how long you been married? It's like 5, but you don't understand how much work I put in beforehand. Like,
so you change your anniversary date, like once you get engaged?
No, once you're married.
Once you're married, yes.
But I know people that celebrate their engagement.
That's
if it goes
away.
for longer than a year.
That goes away.
Okay,
How long have these people been together? That goes away.
Some people, I don't know.
Not that you fall out of love.
They're
but
just
like,
looking for things to celebrate.
Exactly.
I mean,
That's very possible.
It is nice to celebrate your love.
No, it's not.
No?
Please, it's annoying.
It was my first wedding anniversary this past weekend.
Yeah,
and
you're
I have the same like frustration that you do because we dated for like 10 years before we got married. And so now it's like celebrating our first anniversary feels just kind of dumb because we've been together for almost 11 full years.
Wait until you get to 20.
You look like someone that celebrates multiple anniversaries, though.
Yeah, I mean,
I cry at your vows and like
Jeremy loves love.
care about
relationships. I love my wife and I love love.
Yeah,
yeah, but
nice.
you get ripped around here for
but I don't think what I'm saying is I don't think Jeremy's going to grow out of that.
What'd you figure out in the 9th or 10th year that you didn't figure out in the first 8?
When to get married?
It's a good question, I guess.
Just
Same
when
with
to
you,
get
Billy.
With me? I mean, I'm an AM radio producer. It wasn't exactly.
These weddings don't fall out of the sky for free, Stugotz.
It's called saving for a wedding.
Apparently, the first anniversary
stable.
gift is paper.
That one,
So you can give them a card?
You don't do that.
Money.
Not in the first anniversary.
Oh, money.
Paper should be like 7 or 8. Once you get to 7 or 8, it's like paper's fine.
I did a cute thing for that one too. I'm just good at all these. No, I'm actually not. That one I did. I printed out our wedding song, like our first dance song.
Love that.
I printed on a paper like the music to it.
Love that.
Really?
Wow. What was your first dance song?
Yeah.
It was "Crazy Girl" by Eli Young Band.
Did you order? You ordered it like a print?
Crazy girl, know that I love you. I gotta look it up. I don't remember the actual.
I've never heard that song.
You've heard it. I just did it terrible.
Wait, so which anniversary did you do that for?
I assure you I haven't. First anniversary, paper.
Oh, the first. Okay.
This website, by the way, this is like the traditional anniversary gifts by year thing. Like, I feel like by now the audience probably knows what we're referring to, but this website has the year and then it has a traditional, a modern, and a metal or gemstone that corresponds with every anniversary. It feels like a little...
It's a nice little cheat sheet.
It's a lot.
Baby, why you wanna cry? You really ought to know that
Yeah, he did it for under 6 seconds, so we're good.
We do it all the time.
Yeah, we're fine.
This person's being walked to jail or they're in a hospital? What's happening in this video? They're in
crazy girl.
Insane asylum. This was your first dance?
The whole thing is like the lyrics are like "Crazy girl, you know that I love you."
Well, this person's in an insane asylum. Actually,
people,
I don't want to call anyone crazy, but
everyone deserves love.
That's true. Just seems like an odd first dance. Got an electric chair?
Have you guys ever been to a wedding where the DJ played the wrong song for the first dance?
No, that happens.
I have.
Yeah.
I have
seen
too.
it.
You
They
had
played-
one job.
I think they played the song that was supposed to be
Play the
for the
playlist.
mother-son
Oh,
dance.
no.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awkward.
super awkward. And
What
then it
was
was
it?
for, or maybe it was the opposite way, where they played the very romantic song for the mother and son later on. It was incredibly uncomfortable.
A very Oedipal moment.
Yeah, just truly, truly awkward.
I was at one where they played the wrong version of the song, and it was like a remix, and it was really fast, so they were dancing really fast.
Oh, that's awkward.
Well, so I was at Home Depot because I bought a planter because it was wood for 5 years. I bought a planter. I bought a bunch of plants, and I thought it'd be a nice little thing for my wife. My daughter can now be involved. I dabble. I have a watering
I'm a plant
can.
daddy. We should send pictures of our plants to each other. Maybe I'll probably get one of yours. You probably get one of mine.
I mean, I have to ask my wife.
That's fine. Let me know what she says.
Yes.
I'll ask Lehman.
Ron Magill is with us. He does not waste an anniversary. This is the most romantic guy I've ever met. Ron, the best anniversary gift you have ever given your wife is blank.
Hell yeah.
Um, Taking her to Italy for just an incredible time in Venice, going up and down the Amalfi Coast, an incredible room with its own jacuzzi, having a very private gondola going through Venice, candlelit dinner on the beach of Lake Como. It was pretty epic. I got to admit, it was pretty epic.
That was one anniversary?
That was one anniversary. I've done another one. I did one where I took her to Africa for our 25th anniversary, and we had an incredibly romantic dinner out in the Masai Mara, surrounded by all kinds of wonderful animals walking around, and a private chef who made this beautiful private cake made out of. Right. They do this thing with sugar where they make all kinds of sculptures of the animals with the sugar and stuff, and it was just, her and I out there at candlelight dinner, and beautiful. It was just gorgeous.
And 25 of the zoo's biggest donors.
Yeah.
What now?
I gotta say, Ron's figured out this vacation thing where he gets these extravagant vacations. I saw one the other day, Ron, that you had out there after Dan's Africa trip that you guys had all the people calling. It was like, go to the Galapagos with Ron Magill.
Yeah, that's like, December 9th. I'm going
I put it on the calendar. We assume Dan will be in the Galapagos with you.
No, I don't think Dan's going on that one. But no, it's going to be an incredible trip. I mean, I've been to the Galapagos several times, and it's really another world. It's like a place lost in time. It's islands lost in time where animals have no fear of you. When you walk up, you go swimming in the water there, and sea lions come right up to your face and they blow bubbles in your face. It's hilarious.
Where's the place you most like to visit, Ron?
The place I most like to visit is Botswana, Africa. That's my favorite destination in the world. The place I have not visited that I have to visit, that I hope to visit now, coming in April or June, will be Australia.
Is there a place that you were excited to visit, you got there, and it fell flat?
Not really. I mean, Italy was really nice, don't get me wrong, but my wife is really big into art, and I like art, but she's really big into going to all the different churches and seeing the different arts and the sculptures in the churches. And after a while, I was a bit churched out. No, nothing against religion or anything. It's just after a while, going to all these churches and seeing all these sculptures and all these paintings. And another thing, I was disappointed. Like when we went to the Vatican, I went into the Sistine Chapel, and you see that incredible painting, Michelangelo on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, but they say, no pictures, no pictures. And I don't understand why you can't take any pictures if you're not using a flash. There's nothing, when you take a photograph, my camera makes no sound with the shutter or anything. I'm not using a flash. The reason why they don't want you to take pictures is they follow you out into the gift shop, and then they sell you all these pictures for this tremendous amount of money. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? No, that's not happening. So my wife was very, very nervous because I would just take my camera blind, and I took all these great pictures like I wasn't looking through the camera. I kept it to my side, and I just walking through.
I did that too, Ron. I did it with my phone when I was in there. I was like, I'm not missing this.
I mean, they're classic because you know what? That's just ridiculous that here you are in a closely religious place that all this great stuff that God is supposed to do. You appreciate this stuff, and you can't take any photographs. The only reason is because they want you to spend more money when you go out to the gift shop, and they got placemats with the Pope on them and spoons with the Pope's head on it. Well, come on, stop.
You should do that at Zoo Miami. Seriously, no pictures. You have to buy them.
No,
capitalism.
Zoo Miami, we want you to come here and take all the pictures that you can.
All right.
It's a camera flash thing, though, isn't it? Isn't the camera flash?
It is. Now, I understand that. Yes, flash can degrade. There you go. I'm proud of you, Chris. I'm proud of you.
Jesus.
Flash can certainly degrade the paint, so you don't want to take any flash. And even I can understand the clicks of your cameras. If someone's in there going,
true,
it's disturbing to people who might want to see. But if you're totally silent, you're not making any noise, and you're not making any light. Stop it already. Stop it. Stop this cash cow drive that you're trying to make me buy your crappy little stuff in the gift shop.
Well, some tourists too, they aren't really the most careful. Like I was at a museum once with my grandpa, and he almost knocked over a Monet. So really? Wow. I understand. It was
but that has nothing to do with taking a photograph of a Monet. That's nothing to do with taking a photograph. You can stand back and take the photograph and not do anything.
Adding a camera to the mix would have just made it worse.
Yeah, well, whatever.
But what are you doing with, Chris? When have you looked at those photos?
I haven't since.
Exactly. So you did it just because they told you can't.
Right.
Zagaki.
Ron, man.
Ron, Jess is going to Key West, but Greg Cody didn't give her any recommendations. What should she do?
I got to be honest with you. I'm not a person who goes to Key West a ton. As you guys know, I've never had an alcoholic drink in my life, so that kind of evening circuit of bar hopping is not a big thing for me. I've been down there a couple of times for Fantasy Fest because I just love watching decadence and watching how alcohol makes people really look stupid. Key West, I think some of the other keys actually offer much more beautiful opportunities when it comes to the diving and the snorkeling and stuff. I will say this about Key West: the cemetery in Key West is really cool, and of course Hemingway's house. I mean,
I was going to ask you, the polydactyl cats. Can you explain how that happens?
Yeah, it's a product of inbreeding. It's these cats that basically have a gene that creates that extra finger, the six-toed cats, and because that population's been kept kind of captive in that area there, they just kept inbreeding with each other, so that gene keeps getting passed on. So you've got basically these deformed cats that are not a reflection of good, healthy cats, but a reflection of inbreeding.
Why are you heckling Hemingway's house? What's the matter with you? Overrated.
Last thing I want to do there. I'd rather be at Hog's Breath.
Yeah, there's the catch. Yeah, listen, the house is interesting, man. There's some cool stuff in the house, and when you think back in a time when Key West was really Key West, now it's become really more of a tourist thing. Mallory Square is fine, but it's one of those things where been there, done that. It's the same guy doing the juggling, watching the sunset. It's nice, but it's really very touristy. I prefer other parts of the Keys that are not as touristy. I mean, Marathon, Isla Morada, they have some great restaurants, some great snorkeling, great people, without getting into all the touristy stuff. It's the same thing like the Vatican going to the gift shop.
I'll make sure that the charity event that Roy and I are going to move it to Isla Morada next year.
Yeah, or the Galapagos. Yeah.
Ron, have you RSVP'd to Greg Cody's birthday yet? Have you been invited? And have you?
I have been invited. Right. I probably have not RSVP'd because I've been slammed with all kinds of things going to work here. But I am going. I wouldn't miss that for the world. So I will be there. There's something about watching Greg Cody after he's had a few drinks that is just entertainment worth an admission fee.
An aging Greg Cody getting drunk. Yes. I feel like you're not.
He's entertaining.
I feel like you're not going though. I mean,
no, Stugotz, are you going?
I RSVP'd +1, so I'll be there. I think.
Okay, yeah. I'll be there +1 myself. Yeah. I'll be there +1 myself.
I like to RSVP early. That gives me plenty of time to think of an excuse to get out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's on a boat, right? So we're trapped on a boat. You can't back out once you get on.
Correct. It's on a boat. But
you can't be making an early exit, brother.
Ron, he invited more people than the boat holds, though. That's it's good if you don't go. He's fine with you not going, Ron.
Oh, I got it. Thank you very much, Stugotz.
You got it. I got you out of it. Thank you, Ron. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Be good.
All right.
What's up, Dexter?
What's going on, man?
How's it going? Thank you for joining us.
No, absolutely.
We have Dan LeBatard and Stugotz. We're about to count in here, and we will have a good interview.
Love it. Thanks.
Are you sure we're going to have a good interview, Chris?
I'm like 70%. If it's up to Dexter, it's definitely going to be good. But us, it's a question.
All right. Well,
it's a toss-up on this end, too. So.
All right. Well, Dexter seems to be ready, so let's include him on the conversation we were having last week. Dexter Fowler is with us. He hit one of the most famous home runs in baseball history, leading off Game 7 of the 2016 World Series. The conversation we were having last week when Aaron Judge got to 300 home runs faster than anyone ever is why it is that Aaron Judge wouldn't be one of the top 50 most famous athletes in America at present in terms of just stardom, which seems like a baseball stardom problem, not an excellence problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you sit there and look at, the body of work that he's done, he absolutely should be, one of the top athletes in, I'd say, the world. You're playing for, a historic organization like the Yankees, and not to be on that list, that's crazy.
Stugotz, I don't know if you know this, but Dexter recently went back to Penn State after how many years to graduate, Dexter? How did that?
It was actually 20.
So 20 years you decide to go back. Had you been academically dormant until you decided 2 decades in, you know what, I'm going to finish this up. I've got a couple of credits left.
I was dormant. I didn't even start. So I finished 4 years in about 2.5, almost 3 years.
Congratulations to you, Dan. He looks like he's in college.
Fantastic.
He looks fantastic.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Seriously.
It's not.
He's getting
fair.
younger.
Yeah, he's 38 years old, and he looks like he could be in the big leagues
He could
right
swipe
now.
50 bags right now.
But what did it mean to you to graduate? Take me through the thought process. I don't think that people understand the obsessive-compulsive commitment that athletics require to get to where you got to.
Well, it all came about because I got drafted out of high school, and I told my parents, like I was going to University of Miami, and I told him, I said, I'm really only going to do enough to play baseball because that's what I want to do. I said, and my mom was a teacher, elementary school teacher, and so my parents were big on academics. And I told my parents, I said, I'll make a promise to you. If I can go play baseball right now, then I will go back and get my degree. And they said, all right, if you promise to do that, then we'll get it done. And I ended up signing and finished my big league career and said, you know what? It's already paid for. Might as well go back and do it. Made that promise. So held true on my word.
Was it emotional for you? How much family shared the accomplishment with you?
I was actually trying to surprise them, and it slipped out in conversation. I was like, I gotta do this essay for my class, and they were like, what class? And I was like, I slipped up. So I was gonna surprise them and be like, hey, what are y'all doing at this time? I'm getting my degree.
Dexter,
but that didn't work out.
Dexter, how does this work? Did you get a good graduation gift? Did people give you gifts?
I got no gifts. I'm still waiting on one from the Dan Leotard show.
Get Dan Leotard on that right now.
Were you in classes with 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, or was this all online?
No, I wasn't in class physically, but I did a bunch of projects together. But I went by my first name, so I went by William.
Were you anonymous? You were anonymous. You were able to do it anonymously.
I think, my teachers knew who I was. I think my teachers knew who I was because, some of my essays, there was talking about
when I hit that home run for the Cubs,
accomplishments and all that, and I was like, I feel like I'm pretty accomplished.
Can you explain to us what it's like to be you in Chicago? Because I don't know that people totally understand what it means to that fan base, that home run, what your name means, and what the Cubs winning means.
It was funny. Yes, the DNC's here right now, and I was trying to cross the street yesterday, and I saw one of the cops just keep looking at me. And my buddy knew another cop down the way, so he makes a call up. And we're crossing the cop let us cross the street. And as we're crossing the street, one of the cops goes, Dexter, thank you. Can I get a picture with you? I was like, I could have gotten this like 10 minutes ago. We didn't have to make a call down the street.
Yeah.
But
everybody.
Right? No, everybody's been great. Everybody, you see the Cubs fans all over. I live in Vegas, so even walking down the street in Vegas, and everybody will come up to you and just be like, "Thank you," and that's right. Anytime you hear that, they're a Cubs fan.
Well, I'm the resident Cubs fan here, and to be honest, I have so many questions that I really don't know where to begin. But I'm sure you've talked about Game 7 a lot. Can you kind of just walk us through just what it was like starting the game on such a high note after coming back in the series, but then the Cleveland comes back, and then there's a rain delay, and then the game goes on, and there's pitching changes, and it's just a whole mess. What did it feel like?
Oh my gosh! It honestly, now it's a blur. Everybody's like, "Do you watch the game?" I said, "Absolutely not," because I get nightmares from Rajay Davison's home run. It slips out of your hands. I'm like, no, we were this close, but ended up getting the job done. But honestly, I think everybody was at peace. Even when we were down 3-1, everybody knew we were the better team in that clubhouse. And after we beat them Game 5 at Game 6, we were like, oh, this is ours. This is ours. We're going to do this. And then just having a confidence of everybody behind me. Obviously, after that, we were rolling. We had the momentum. So, momentum can take you a long way until it doesn't.
Dexter, is it fair to say you guys won that World Series despite Joe Maddon?
Oh, my God.
Fair to say?
Here we go.
Lester with the hook. Come on.
Yeah.
You took it out too early.
My guy.
Yeah.
Joe's my guy.
It's okay. You can say it, though. If he's your guy, then he'll understand.
Okay,
say it. Right.
Yeah. I think he realized he dropped the ball.
Wow. And the glasses are fake, right?
Come on. You couldn't.
Those are real glasses.
Oh, man.
You couldn't hold yourself. You couldn't show restraint. You had to immediately go. He's got this theory that Joe wears those glasses to appear smarter than he is.
No, you know what? Joe was great with the clubhouse, man. He knows how to manage people, which is great. You need that.
Do you like what it is that's become of the sport even since 2016? Because I'm not sure that you're allowed to play baseball right now if you're not someone who strikes out 1 out of every 4 times and hits 40 home runs.
I don't love it. It's kind of hard to watch at times, but hopefully the analytics and stuff, it evolves into more of a tool and we get back to playing baseball. I think I just think that baseball at this time is what I'm in the commissioner's ambassador program, and we talk about it daily on how to make the game better and bring it back to the X's and O's of baseball. Whether that's speeding the game up, getting the youth back involved, cutting down on the strikeouts and all that, but. It's not an easy problem to fix. I think we've gotten ourselves into this situation, and we got to figure out a way to get ourselves out.
What percentage of the? Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
Get the game back being the way it is.
What percentage of the Cubs World Series is directly attributed to Jason Hayward's speech during the rain delay?
Yeah. Jay. I mean, he got us all together. What a lot of people don't know is we were all scattered. Jay Hay kind of got the group together and, kind of started it off. And then everybody said their piece and kind of got all this stuff off their chest. And then kind of cleared our minds to go back out. Like, I know Rossi said something. I said something. But, yeah, I mean, that was good. I call it field awareness for Jay Hay to get us all back together, because you don't know where everybody's at mentally. I mean, you had obviously Araldis in there, and he was distraught because he felt like it was his fault. But it was a new game. That was I call it game 8.
Dexter, you the following season played in the Little League Classic with the St. Louis Cardinals, and there was actually a very cool moment that was shared during the broadcast from Jazz Chisholm Jr. that we wanted to take a look at, and then I'll have a couple follow-up questions for you about that game.
I got off the plane. One of his friends came right away because he was way in the back. His friends came up to me and he was like, "Oh, my best friend, you're his favorite player, bro. Like, he can't wait to see you." And this kid ran all the way from the back to tell me that his friend is I'm his friend's favorite baseball player. And then I'm just like, okay, I can't wait to meet him. Where's he at? So I'm just walking through signing stuff. I don't even get to meet the kid until it's the last kid at the line.
Really?
And he's just in the back just waiting on me. And I'm just signing, and he's like, "You're my favorite baseball player." I was like, "Oh, your friend told me about you." He's like, "No, you're my favorite." And he just starts going into it and all that stuff. And he told me his brother that goes to one of the events that I host, Baseball Generations in California.
Right.
And then we just started getting back, to know each other. And then I was like, "You know what, kid? I'm going to be your big brother from here on. You know what? I'm going to make sure you have everything you need. Your sliding mids, leg guards, gloves, bats. Don't worry about it. I got you. Just give me a call, and I got you." And I gave my number.
So cool.
Later on, they showed that Jazz also gave him a custom chain, all sorts of cool different things. Did you have any moments like this at the Little League Classic, chatting with some of the kids about either being their favorite player or just kind of getting to bond like this? Because to me, this is one of the coolest things that baseball has.
If I can remember, we were the first time they did the Little League Classic. So I think it was, now they kind of have it down. But I mean, when we got off the plane, we were like, "Yeah, you'll be right on this bus. You'll be right on this." So it's kind of all over the place. And now they kind of, I like how they're doing it now. But I mean, the kids are in awe. And then I had never been to Williamsport, so going there, and I was in the booth with ESPN. And getting a chance to, I didn't know the fields were like that. It's really cool to watch, and the kids, they loved it. They love it. And the fact that when you're playing, it's all the kids in the stands. It's special.
Does it feel like transport back to the 1970s or a different time in America?
It does. It's nostalgia for sure. They had, now fixed the lights. The lights were horrible when we played. So, you're used to having obviously the best lights, and it's like, this is kind of dark. But it was great.
Before I get you out of here, I should tell the people he's now an analyst for the Cubs Marquee Network, and you've bought a Premier League team. Bournemouth, explain to us this journey. How did retirement become, I'm going to go buy a soccer team in the Premier League?
I have great neighbors and mentors. My neighbor is actually Bill Foley, and Bill has kind of taken me under his wing and put me on a few of his boards, and so I've been doing a little bit of board work for him. But he came to me with an opportunity and said, "Dex, I'd love for you to be a part of this." And if Bill says be a part of something, it's going to be special. So ended up putting some money in to be a part of that, and gonna start helping out. I've yet to go to. I've been working so much. I've yet to go out to London to Bournemouth and go to a game. But my wife and kids have, and I'm looking forward to kind of getting my feet wet in the ownership stuff.
It was good catching up with you, Dexter. Thank you for making the time for us, sir.
Absolutely, anytime.
You guys know that I am not a fantasy player, but I do understand the appeal of all of these addictions on NFL Sundays. You guys tell me, because I'm not familiar with how it is that one would track their fantasy teams on Sunday. However, YouTube TV is now offering a fantasy view. It's allowing Yahoo and NFL.com customers to link their fantasy teams to their YouTube accounts, and then you get the plays and the multi-view options, and you get all the stuff that's personalized for you. Is that worth it to you, Stugotz, for an extra $300, which is what the Apple Plus package through YouTube is going for? It's twice the rate of what it is that the DirecTV package has been.
I mean, I get the concept. You put your fantasy team in, it automatically goes to highlights of guys on your fantasy team when they do something good or bad, I would imagine. It seems appealing to me. Again, I just don't know how to set it up. I mean, someone's going to have to help me with that. I would pay for it.
But you don't need
I don't
that,
have to set
do
it
you?
up.
I mean, you can have.
You don't need it.
You can be without that. You can just be on your phone or your iPad or your computer. That's how everybody's doing it now, anyway, isn't it?
This sounds pretty incredible, Dan. I'll be honest. I've never been I've never had Sunday Ticket, and I've never had Red Zone. I always have just used whatever free trials exist to be able to get that on certain weekends. This is the first time. The idea that I could just link my fantasy team and just be shown my players all weekend long, it's the first time where I'm now considering, like, all right, do I want to drop hundreds of dollars to be able to watch this?
I have a problem. My phone doesn't get YouTube, so.
Yeah. Can't be true.
Not true in
That is
way.
not
Hold
true.
up your phone.
Not
Simply
the truth.
not.
Didn't even try.
No, it's true. Some phones just don't get it.
Thank you.
No, that one doesn't get. That's not a YouTube.
This phone, I'm sure I could get
No.
YouTube on it. Stugotz, for the love of God.
We know it's an iPhone.
Get him his
Cameo.
AARP information, please. I wanted to ask you guys something based on both internet culture and what's real and what isn't about where it is that all of us live in 2024. Online, more connected than we've ever been, more disconnected from others than we've ever been. So somebody put up the Tua clip with the words positive energy and empowering someone goes a long way. Now, this, of course, gets rained on by acid from every corner of the internet because positive energy and empowering someone is not the thing that the internet is here for. So someone writes in of Tua's commentary, blaming another man because he didn't hug him. What kind of shit is that? That's some weak boy. You actually said another man didn't kiss your ass enough and tell you that you're good and give you affirmation on the lips. That's why you bleeped up. Maybe work on your arm strength instead of your mouth. And I just want to ask you guys, because I don't think that's rare. I don't also think that's a bot, although there's plenty of that out there as well. But there are a whole assortment of people who are just generally unhappy, who are getting something that feels like a dollop of medicine on happiness for them, the stimulant of just sending that out into the universe and creating a fight around it, right? It's almost by definition trolling, correct?
Yeah, but there are also a lot of people, Dan, who don't have a choice as to who their boss is. They don't make nearly as much money. They're trying to make ends meet. They go to work every single day, and their boss is a jackass. And they're like, hey, if I could deal with it, if I can make it through for $250 million, you should be able to do the same. I think it's ridiculous. I do, because what is Tua really saying? He would prefer to show up to work every day and have a boss that is nice to him. That's his preference. If you at home would rather show up to work and have a boss who's a complete jackass to you every day, then go for it. The choice is yours. But Tua is saying, no, I don't want that. And he's not afraid to point out who the jackass is. And he's saying, I want to go to work every day and work for a guy who respects me, a guy who is going to be nice to me. What's wrong with that?
Dan's talking about the people that go one step forward, though, and post all of that on the internet very cruelly for other people to see. That's just like maybe a lot of people think that way, but like I agree, Dan, like there's a lot of nasty, cruel people that post things on the internet that I honestly have to just block out because I have to tell myself like this is just not what most people think, hopefully.
My point though is this is now sport, correct? Yes. We are now in a place where find comment, take another side on the comment, and it all becomes some form of politics, some form of we're divided, some form of we're going to fight about this. And it speaks to a general anger that's out there that Stugotz isn't wrong about, that person X who is struggling with the daily survival of I can't afford things. It becomes an issue larger than all of the other issues in your life until you then have health problems, and then you have to take that into our medical system without the proper insurance. And then you're drowning. And then you're forever drowning and you're angry, and it makes you feel some modicum of better to instigate that fight so other people feel miserable too, to come out against positive affirmations, to basically be against speaking kindly to subordinates. Like,
yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
I'm going to take the opposite side on being kind. And how I'm going to do it, I'm going to call you a bleep boy.
Misery loves company, Dan.
Yeah, you got it, Dan. If being mean on the internet was a sport, I'd want to watch it. And if I was going to watch it, I would use Game Time to get tickets to go watch people be mean on the internet.
Watch
what?
On the internet?
Must be nice to be perfect.
You were there.
Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. If you want to go watch the internet, I would go watch the internet if it was a thing.
I would too.
And I would go on the second market and I'd go to Game Time and I would get to see exactly where my seat was from the little app. You see a little angle, like, look, I'm looking down. This is exactly where my seat's going to be.
Yes.
It's a beautiful thing. Download it. Use code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Last minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed.
While watching Chris saying PP instead of people.
I feel like we owe Game Time money. I had front row tickets for this one.
Chris, you're speaking the last 6 or 7 days as what?
You're doing great, kid. I mean,
attaboy, Stu. Glass house.
Someone needs
Chris?
to tell him. I mean, you
positive reinforcement.
Right.
Yeah,
Chris?
you're the future.
You're not Reddit.
I am throwing stones from this ass house. I am. But at Dolphin Camp, there were a handful of times I wanted to hug you. I don't know if they edited it out or whether your fear will be noticeable to all. But when you sink into the lack of confidence that is reading or being polished broadcaster, you can sink deep with rat-a-tat-tat mistakes.
Yes. Thank you for that. Yes, you are right. I thought I crushed that read.
Yeah.
Good transition.
You did. Listen, you're a great reader, okay? And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You are a fantastic reader. You'll only get better, okay? So don't let Dan get to you. Everyone wants a nice boss. Think about what Tua said. You want positive reinforcement, and I am telling you that everyone trips up occasionally when they read. Even Dan does.
That's
okay?
right.
Even
right.
You just power forward, okay? You just move forward. Chris, I believe in you.
It's hard to do that when everyone stops and looks at me every time I make the slightest mistake.
Well, you said PP. I'm sorry. Like, PP's funny.
That's an attention grabber.
That's true.
These aren't normal reading circumstances, though. Chris is right. I mean,
Chris, this is an egregious mistake, though. If while reading the sponsor, you say when watching PP on the internet,
it happens.
I want to hear that back. You guys are taking
He did say go watch PP.
Yeah, he said go watch PP.
Let it go, Chris.
People be mean on the internet.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
play for me, please, the sound sound of Dexter Fowler getting my name wrong. It echoes from sea to shining sea, or my name isn't.
Dan Leotard Show. Dan Leotard Show.
That's so good.
He made a mistake. We should laugh at him.
You owe him a gift. I mean,
Dan Leotard Show.
Dan, while you were gone, there's been some developments in this missing billionaire.
Oh,
Huge deal.
Seems as though Stugotz may or may not be onto something here.
Inside job.
Well, it turns out that Mike Lynch's co-defendant, a man named Stephen Chamberlain, who stood for trial alongside him before they were acquitted, died just days before Mike Lynch went missing. He was hit by a vehicle while out for a jog in the UK. Maybe an inside job, Dan. People are going for these guys.
Yep.
Seems
Gotta
like there's
find out
some
who it is.
scores to settle potentially here.
I mean, he takes that jog every single day, never gets hit by a car, and then suddenly, boom.
So on the lam.
Tends to be how car accidents work.
Boom.
That is how they work.
Now the question becomes, though, Dan, before we thought it was an inside job and that this person was faking their own death, it seems as though maybe there's a Batman out there, Capes Crusader, who's just going and settling some scores, it would appear.
I feel like we're flying fast and loose with conspiracy theories about a
100%.
guy who's worth lots of money.
Yeah, probably shouldn't do that. Probably should be a little
two
more
people, 2 days
responsible than
apart,
that.
though.
Researching. I mean,
Yeah,
man,
we're just
connect the
putting it out
dots.
there.
All right,
Exactly
so
right.
suspicious and
you want it?
inside
Reading from
job.
the internet.
Reckless
Come on.
speculation.
Chamberlain.
Because Dan's liable for. any
Yeah, I would
lawsuit.
prefer not to be. Thank you. I think I need yeah.
Time to throw away all journalistic credibility and get reckless. Here is something we like to call reckless speculation.
Now you're good.
No, it's a little too late
Well,
for
if the
that.
billionaire sues you, then we know he didn't actually die.
I wanted to ask you guys something that came across my news feed the other day.
You have a personal news feed?
That's right.
Oh.
We all do, Stugotz. Anybody who's interested in having a personal news feed, it's pretty easy to set up.
My phone doesn't get that.
Yeah, no, yeah, you gotta sign up for YouTube. On my personal news feed, I found out that Walmart is improving. They are fixing their self-checkout situation with a great technological evolution.
Really?
They're bringing back humans.
Wow.
They're doing it
What a
the
concept.
correct way. They're not going to do it with these machines anymore because you can steal, I'm guessing, so much from those machines without humans around. I've told you before that Walmart loses like $3 billion a year or something to theft. And they're like, screw this. We're going to go back to human beings. The whole electronic thing didn't work. We're not headed toward the future just yet. Not at Walmart.
I feel like I maybe it's a theft thing, but I doubt that. It's probably because the machines suck. They always break. You always need a person to come help you anyways. If you're buying alcohol, you need a human to come do it.
There's usually a floor manager for the machines.
There's,
There is,
the last
yes.
time I went to Walmart, like it might have been like 2 or 3 weeks ago, there were 4 people in the self-checkout area helping. Yeah. I hate self-checkout so much. And the goddamn machines at CVS, they just ding at you nonstop. Skip bagging, ding, ding, skip bagging, no receipt. I don't want to hear this stupid thing ding at me all the freaking time. Just it's incessant and it never ends.
So that's interesting because I was going to say the CVS machines are great. Like you could fly through
She
those.
said just the opposite.
Oh, no, I know, but I think they're great. The Walmart ones are a disaster. They're different machines. I go to CVS and it's easy for me.
Well, why is Jessica struggling with this and you can't get YouTube on your phone?
I think it's the beeps. I don't know. There are a lot of beeps, but the beeps don't bother me.
The frequency of the beep is at a level that just bores into my brain and it doesn't stop.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju. More annoying beep, the CVS self-checkout machine or your car seatbelt beep? I would assume that there is more theft because of the self-checkout, I would assume, simply because you can get away with putting extra things in when
Dan,
no one is looking.
If you don't scan it and bag it, when you walk out of the Walmart, alarms will go off. I'm telling you right now, it's impossible to steal from that machine.
It can't be.
I'm
That
telling
can't
you,
be right. That
bringing
it's
back humans is a
impossible.
bad idea.
I know someone who, out of spite for the fact that self-checkout machines were hurting labor and getting more people fired, who steals one item every single time they go to Publix. Just one $2 or $3 item, the cheapest thing they could find. They put it in their bag just out of spite while going to the self-checkout line.
So a line.
Self-checkout tax.
Fun fact, there are no Walmarts in New York City.
Put it on the poll, please, at LeBatard Show. Is it a fun fact that there are no Walmarts?
I don't know if it's fun.
New York didn't get a Target until I think like 2016. There's not a lot of big box stores that fit into little tiny. There used to be a Kmart though. The Kmart closed. It was at the Astor Place subway stop. It was a big thing. You could walk into it from underground, and now it's gone.
Downtown
It's a Wegmans.
Targets stink.
Why?
They're not rural Targets.
Well said.
Did I screw up that time too? I said
kind
rural.
of.
You know, the self-checkout at Target is not that bad.
In fairness to Chris, he was not expecting a follow-up. I mean,
The one at the beach is terrible. I will give Chris that. The Target
It's
at
a
the
bad-
beach
it's a bad
isn't very
Target.
good. It's just there's not enough square
about a little
footage
yes
for a
and,
Target
guys?
there.
The one at the beach, people walking in barefoot with sand on their feet all the time. You
That's a
expect that
vacationer's
I
Target.
mean, come
Yeah.
on. Smells like mildew because you've been battered by sea air for I don't know how long.
I don't like going up an escalator to shop.
Yeah, same.
But that's like half of Miami because you have to go in the parking garage and you have to go up like 7 layers of a parking garage and then you have to go down an escalator or up an escalator and then you have to get your cart and then you have to put that on the stupid escalator or you have to carry everything and your arms hurt and it's such a pain in the ass because there's nowhere to park because the city is just full of parking garages.
It's crazy. You put an escalator in a Target and it rattles me. But if you put one in a JCPenney, I love it. Love a JCPenney escalator.
A part of a mall.
I'm going up. I'll see you guys in a little bit because that's always where the men's stuff is.
Are you-
Men's clothes is always on the second floor.
yeah.
Are you a Kohl's Cash guy?
Yes.
I knew it.
That Target on the beach, okay, for 10 years has been urinated on by offensive linemen who fly to Ireland and get arrested and get rerouted back to Boston. That Target has been a literal target of all of South Beach's debauchery for as long as it's been there.
Boston, Ireland, same place.
Also coming across my news feed, my personalized news feed just
Wow.
for me.
Nude feed? Oh, whoa,
How do I get one?
whoa.
A nude feed?
Oh, yes.
Check in with Chris Cody's
Watch
PP
PP.
on the internet.
That'd be on your phone.
Is Subway in trouble? Are Subway franchise sales something that's in trouble? I have told you guys before that Subway is, or has been the last time I checked, the second largest fast food distributor we've had in America behind McDonald's for a long time. I suspect a lot of people might think that Burger King is right behind McDonald's or something else, but it's been Subway in terms of franchises. But I would imagine the $5 footlong is now $25.99. I would imagine that the business of Subway is getting more and more expensive, and I don't know if people are running around buying franchises as at the same rate that they were once upon a time.
In 2023, Subway's revenue increased to $971.9 million. Subway.com. They're doing just fine.
I've seen a few Subways close around me.
Of course, they're closing. That doesn't mean they're doing poorly.
I'm pretty sure.
No, guys.
sure
Some
that's
of these
exactly
are
what
franchised
it
out.
means.
No. You're wrong, first off. Some of these are franchised out. So if a couple of stores close, it means that particular store has not done well. It doesn't mean Subway as a whole is not doing well. I mean, come on. Know your franchises.
I don't know the status of Subway as a whole, but does Subway taste good? Like, are there not just better sub options now?
I've always been pro Subway. My wife hates the smell of Subway.
The bread.
Like just walking in
Oh.
there, she's like, she can't even do that. Where I've always been pro Subway.
Wait a minute. I thought the smell of bread is nice. Is it too many years
I
of
agree.
the bread?
Not after 30 years, Dan. That bread wears on a man.
Okay, let's put it on the
Eat
poll
fresh.
at LeBatard Show. At LeBatard Show, do you like the smell of bread in Subway? Because
I would just say the smell of Subway.
Yeah, but everything's
But it's
getting
the bread.
I have no idea what's what anymore. Everything's getting recalled. I don't know if Boar's Head is good. It's all a disaster. I mean,
everything's getting recalled.
it seems like everything's getting recalled.
Can I just take it back for a second? I thought the smell of bread was universally good information, Stugotz. I appreciate you.
Boar's Head is dangerous right now.
I
mean,
appreciate
Maybe that's why the Subway closed. It was recalled.
monkeypox. Yes. Can you guys not agree? I thought we can agree on one thing in America at this time that we're all divided, and it's that the smell of fresh bread is something that we all like.
You're right. Yes.
You're thinking of a different smell.
Now, maybe
though.
this is
Different
not
thing.
fresh
There's
bread
a-
at
there's a-
Subway. Maybe
no,
it's
there's
your-
a Subway smell. It's not a bread smell.
Right.
It's just a Subway smell.
But it's the smell of bread.
It's the smell of the bread, but
No,
the
it's the
bread
smell of
smells
Subway.
like plastic bread.
That's right.
But Dan is saying when you walk
like a
in,
bread candle.
you in the morning, you wake up, you walk into a bakery. It smells fantastic, right?
Subway is not a bakery.
Yeah, but
it
there's
smells
bread,
like Subway.
But I get it.
It's a different thing. It just doesn't smell like the same. Like you walk into a really good bakery and you know that bread was made that morning.
Right.
Where the Subway bread, I don't know that I trust that necessarily.
No, when I was a kid, the Subway bread smell was a magical smell.
Right.
It
Yeah.
was the smell of I'm about to eat the biggest sub I've ever
Yep.
seen in my life.
You just
and
gotta
I'm gonna layer on the meat and the cheese and the sport peppers.
You gotta stay strong with your beliefs. If you love Subway, then if an article comes out saying their tuna doesn't have actual tuna in it, you say screw that, and you go to next day and you order a tuna sandwich, like I did.
I love Subway and all the
Me too.
athletes that represent Subway that we've booked through the years through Subway. God bless Subway.
You guys are really shaming Subway. It's one of the. It has been. In the history of fast food, okay, it has been a somewhat healthy alternative at an affordable price. It is. America has spoken on this. Now, you guys.
They got you with the healthy alternative.
Listen,
I love Subway. It's so healthy.
I said a somewhat healthy alternative compared to look, a turkey sandwich
Compared
is a
to
little
what?
healthier than a bacon cheeseburger. And French fries, I would assume. You could get a salad at Subway. It is most fast food is crappier health-wise than Subway. You think I'm saying something controversial there?
I'll take a 12-inch steak and cheese, extra meat, please.
I get that sweet onion chicken teriyaki and just pour that teriyaki sauce on top of that chicken that's been sitting there for 14 hours unwrapped.
Chris with extra mayo.
Oh.
But the light blue mayo.
You know you get a
Right,
foot long
low fat.
or a pasta until August 27th for just $6.49 each. Crazy.
That is
Subway,
pretty
eat
crazy.
fresh.
You know what? Maybe I just associate Subway with the last time I had Subway, which was when I was dating this guy that used to eat meatball subs with mayonnaise on it.
Oh, terrible.
The problem is you hate the guy and you're blaming Subway for
that's
that.
awful.
I don't hate the guy.
No,
I just
you
think
hate the
he's
guy.
disgusting.
No, it's so
Yeah,
foul.
but Subway's not.
You guys are doing this,
And their app?
You guys are showing. You're showing your sub elitist streak. You guys, this
agree.
is affordable fast food, and you guys are judging from on high all your gluten-free tower.
Last time I had Subway, my friend Josh Allen gave me a churro from there. And a foot-long
How was
cookie.
it?
Delicious.
Delicious.
So good.
Oh, the cookies?
Yeah.
Come on, they're
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
I like
football.
Jersey Mike's because the Jersey Mike CEO comes on TV and talks to me during football games every year.
He's
that
great.
guy's always on TV.
He's so
And Danny
relatable.
DeVito. So was
Just a
Papa
random
John
guy.
and nothing.
I like that they didn't even try to hire an actor. They're like, here's this guy's Jersey Mike. You believe us, right? Because he looks like he's Jersey Mike. And I'm like, you're right.
If I walk into a Subway and I get a turkey sub with pepperoncini peppers and I leave for $5, I've gotten a great value. I will not have you guys blaspheme against this because you don't like a smell from 9 years ago.
Firehouse subs? Oh, thank you for your
I'm
service.
not saying that all the subs aren't better than this,
Jimmy
but
John's
this is
even.
affordable.
Dan's right. It
Man
is.
of
It's
the people.
affordable and it's decent. I mean,
You bring
it
your
is.
$1 million bill into Subway so they can break
Good
it for a $5
question.
footlong?
Is the $5 footlong still $5?
No, that hasn't been the
No
case
shot.
since about 1982.
It's a monthly mortgage payment now.
Good jingle it was, though.
You guys are trying to tell me that
They bill you.
Subway's not healthier than the average fast food chain. While Stugotz last week was arguing on behalf of Long John Silver and its fried fish down your gullet.
And there was that guy, Jared. He was so likable. What happened to him?
$5.
Oh, come on. Come on.
I think Jeremy
you
knows
do
what
the pin.
happened.
Come on.
I
I
think
mean,
he's setting you up,
come
Dan.
on.
Jeremy's trying to trick you, Dan.
Come on.
The chicken teriyaki is really good, though.
Oh, it's delicious.
Come
I lost so
on.
much weight eating Subway. It was amazing.
Just get out of here.
We've got a penalty, 5 minutes. Major asshole.
My life as I know it is about to drastically change forever. And the reason I say that, as many of you know, I'm going to be a father coming up in December to a baby girl, and it's crazy, and I can't believe it. And a lot of my life is going to change, but there's one thing in my life that's going to be constant. And since 1975, this original light beer has been a constant, a mainstay for the entire planet. And it's going to continue to be a mainstay for me. It's Miller Lite. They keep it simple, undebatable quality, great taste, only 96 calories. It's the beer that strips away everything you don't need and holds on to what matters most. It's a light beer that actually tastes like beer. You don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling and it tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. I will when my daughter's born with a tall, cold glass of Miller Lite. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
I thought we had agreed that the universally celebrated, embraced smell that we could all agree on is the smell of fresh bread.
It's dough. I'm on the fence in this argument because I at the same time like the smell of Subway bread, but I acknowledge that of all the subs out there in bread, it's not the best smell.
No,
I see both sides to this.
Both sides this. This is
I'm on the
Subway.
fence right now.
Subway is the more affordable of the options, and you generally end up getting what you pay for. And so, yes, if you're willing to go pal around with Jersey Mike and pay $19 for a sub, you're all set.
Huh. Those chicken cheesesteaks, though, my God.
If you don't mind paying 4 times the price for fresher bread.
What about Quiznos? What happened to? I liked Quiznos.
Man, I like
Quiznos smelled good.
Goes through the oven,
They
right?
toasted it.
Comes out the other side,
Yeah.
The turkey ranch.
Yeah.
I was a Quiznos and a Firehouse gal myself.
Firehouse.
Jersey Mike's came late in the game for me, and then I had to quit bread.
I used to love Firehouse. It's gotten a little mushy for me over the years.
Really?
It's kind of like all one texture of mushy.
But Dan is right. This is a sacred smell, and it seems to be like, people are questioning whether or not it's a good smell or not because they're in a Subway.
Well,
fresh bread is a great smell.
What they're doing.
I want a cologne, fresh bread.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at LeBatardShow. Would you like a cologne that smells like fresh bread?
Not fresh Subway bread, though.
No, not fresh Subway
I would
bread.
take Olive Garden breadsticks.
Oh,
bread
now we're talking.
10 times before I take Subway bread.
I think what's happening here is that we're not going to find a sub shop that you guys hold in less regard than Subway because it's the most affordable. You guys are,
When did Jimmy John's become this expensive sub shop? That I used to get a sandwich there for $4.
That's a gourmet sandwich at Jimmy John's.
It is.
Jimmy John's is not somebody
Freaky fast.
I think that what's
Gourmet
happened here,
sandwich.
Dan, is you're just comparing the fact that you've now had these sandwiches in the last, decade to 15 years come around after Subway was first, and we all just sort of discovered, there are some tastier sandwich options for just a little bit higher of a price.
But I think Dan is saying there's also some awful delis out there, and you guys haven't been to them. Because there are. In New York
You're
City.
telling me I've never been to an awful
There
deli?
are some terrible delis. Delis in New York City are a crapshoot. They really are.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at LeBatardShow. Are delis in New York City a crapshoot? You were saying, Jessica?
This Jersey Mike sub, $8.25.
So good.
All right, so
I don't know how long it is though.
It's not a $5
Yeah, but
footlong.
Jersey Mike's does this thing where their regular is and then if you get the larger, it's like the giant, and it's way too much.
Yeah.
If they have this thing at Jersey Mike's where the regular's not enough,
Try me.
and their giant is just too much.
But you fall for it every time.
Whereas the Subway 12-inch is just that perfect. I can crush both of these.
Yeah.
Both of these.
12
Damn it.
inches. Yeah.
PP.
He's rattled.
Do you want to get the sound of you saying what you said you did not say, which is that you were during a sponsored segment telling people to see PP on the internet?
No, I don't have that.
I think we should get that, and we should we should send it to the sponsor, send it to Game Time, and show them the kind of professional outfit that they've gotten into a relationship with, that you are advocating during their spots for porn accidentally.
That's what you'll get, and you'll like it.